Good day, everyone. Today, I will be discussing the lesson 11 of our discussion, in which we will be discussing navigating the digital landscape, human thriving in the information age. So, class, let me begin with a simple observation. No? I know that every single one of you woke up today in the middle of a digital landscape. And also, you probably reach for your phone before you even get out of the bed, right? You check notifications even if you didn't reply. Or you interacted with technology even before you interacted with another human being. And of course, that is not surprising because we are living in one of the most transformative eras in human history, which is the information age. This era is powerful. It connects us to the world. It opened doors that once seemed unreachable. It brings opportunities, knowledge, convenience, and innovation at a speed past generations that could not imagine. But this era also brings challenges, misinformation, addiction, digital overload, and privacy threats, and also even unequal access. So today, I want you to understand the digital world not as something you just use, but as something you navigate wisely, something you master, something you benefit from without letting it harm or control you. Because the truth is this: the people who thrive in the information age are not the ones with the newest gadgets, but they are the ones with the right knowledge, the right digital skills, and the right mindset. So, class, our goal today is to understand everything that digital lives shapes, from how communication evolved to how social media influencers influences us, to how digital literacy protects us, and to how the digital divide affects our society. And of course, and how you, as future professionals, citizens, and digital participants can thrive in this era. So, let me ask you, what is this information age? So, the information age, often called as the digital age, it began in the late 20th century. But it did not simply start because computers were invested or invented. It began because information itself became the most powerful resource. Let's break down. Information became instant. No, before this age, people waited days, weeks, even months for information. Letters took time, books were limited, and news was slow. Today, with a single click, you can access billions of resources instantly. Second is information became digital. People used to store knowledge on paper, stones, scrolls. Today, we store data digitally, especially in clouds, in servers, in flash drives, and networks that can be accessed everywhere. Also, technology became universal. Computers used to be rare. Now, smartphones, more powerful than NASA's computers during the moon landing, it can fit your pocket. Also, communication became global. Distance no longer matters because someone in the Philippines can communicate with someone in other countries such as Japan, Europe, or US. And also, creativity expanded. Before, expression was limited to painting, limited to pen, limited to voice. But now, some people express through digital art, blogs, podcasts, code, games, social media, video creation, or even multimedia projects. So this information age isn't just about convenience. It reshaped how humans live, communicate, learn, express, and connect. This is the era you were born into, and the era you must learn to navigate if you want to succeed. Let's discuss the evolution of human communication. Now, let's start where it all began. Thousand years ago, early humans had no written language, no alphabets, no books, no screens, no emojis. Yet they communicated. But the question is how? Of course, they used cave paintings, they used hand gestures, they used carvings, their facial expressions, and even sounds. So these were essential for survival. A drawing on a cave, especially on the cave wall, warned others of dangerous animals. A gesture might signal a hunting plan, or an oral story passed down traditions and history. So communication started simple, but even then, humans needed to connect, express, survive, and collaborate. The invention of writing. No? Imagine a world without written records. No laws written down, no instructions, no permanent history, or even no books to learn from. Writing changed everything. Civilizations like Sumerians, Egyptians, and Phoenicians, they developed systems to record messages. They carved into clay, painted on papyrus, drew symbols that represented words or sounds. Now, why was this important? Because ideas could be recorded permanently, knowledge could spread beyond one generation, people could communicate across time, complex societies were found or formed, and learning became structured. And writing was the first major revolution in communication. Next is the printing press, a true game changer, the printing press. Before the printing press, books were handwritten by monks. They were expensive. Only the wealthy owned them. However, Gutenberg created printing press. Johannes Gutenberg. Suddenly, books were mass-produced, knowledge became cheaper, ordinary people gained access to information, literacy discovered spread, revolutions were sparked such as under in the Reformation or Renaissance period. So the printing press democratized knowledge, and the internet rather would later do the same but on a much larger scale. Now, telecommunication. So here, communication goes long distance. Telegraph allowed messages to travel across vast distances in minutes. It connected cities, countries, and later the world. Now, telephone, and we should be thankful with Alexander Graham Bell because of the discovery of the telephone. It introduced real-time voice communication. Suddenly, distance became almost irrelevant. In this way, communication became faster, clearer, and more personal. Now, let's proceed to the rise of the internet, in which the birth of the digital world. The internet completely rewrote human interaction. With Tim Berners-Lee World Wide Web, or the WWW, that can be found in the when you do research, no? Information became accessible to anyone. Web pages connected people globally. Digital communication replaced physical mail. Businesses moved online. Communities formed virtually, and social media began. And this was the most significant communication revolution since writing itself. And because of the rise of the internet, we have now the smartphones na beyond. That's constant connectivity. Today, our smartphone is no, we have camera, calculator, GPS, messaging device, a research tool, an entertainment center, or even in a workplace. It is the most powerful personal device humanity ever created. But it also created new challenges, such as distraction, dependency, misinformation, comparison, and mental health issues. This is why digital literacy is essential. Digital literacy is the superpower of the information age. Without it, you will struggle. With it, you will thrive. And digital literacy is not just about knowing how to use a phone or laptop, but it consists of cognitive skills, technical skills, critical thinking, and even ethical responsibility. Let's discuss first with the access of information properly. Knowing how to search effectively is a skill. Not all information online is equal. That is why a digital literate person uses proper keywords, checks credible sources, avoid unverified blogs and clickbait, understand algorithms, and also even differentiates facts from opinions. Next, evaluation or evaluating information critically. Information overload is real and that is relevant nowadays, especially for you students. There is more information online than the human mind can process. This means you must question the source, check if it is biased, analyze the author's credibility, verify through multiple sources, spot fake news, recognize manipulated media, and of course, understand how misinformation spread. That is why critical thinking is key. Next, creating digital content. A digitally skilled person can produce presentations, videos, graphics, posters, essays, and digital portfolios. And with that, creation is now part of communication. Also, communicating professionally online. Your digital footprint matters. Digital communication includes respectful tone, email etiquette rather, clarity, formality in workplace messages, and understanding what is appropriate to post. Employers now check social media profiles. Your online behavior can affect job opportunities. And lastly, employability and career advantage. Digital literacy is required in almost all careers, such as healthcare, teaching, business, technology, engineering, government, marketing, law, or even hospitality. That is why, to succeed in the modern world, you must adapt to digital platforms, tools, apps, and environments. Now, social media, boon or bane. Let's discuss the advantages of social media. Through social media, you can reach thousands or millions instantly. Businesses use social media to grow. Researchers use it to gather participants, and ordinary people use it to express their voices. Aside from that, social media can stay connected regardless of distance. Also, classroom becomes collaborative online, such as what happened during pandemic. We have our online class. Medical students share resources and also professionals meet virtually. Another thing, businesses interact with customers. Students engage more with lessons and people participate in advocacy moments. And in terms of real-time information through social media during disasters, social media saves lives. Updates spread faster than traditional news, and governments communicate warnings instantly, unlike before. And lastly, in social media, marketing is cheaper. Sharing information is free, and anyone can build an online presence. Now, what could be the possible disadvantages of the social media? The very basic and common example is the spread of misinformation. Because anyone can post anything, false claims spread fast, fake news can cause panic, harm, or even violence. Another, addiction and dependency. Endless scrolling, constant notifications, fear of missing out, and of course, this affects sleep, productivity, and mental health. Another is cyberbullying, such as online insults, threats, shaming, and harassment cause real psychological harm. And in terms of privacy risk, social media collects messages, location, browsing habits, personal preference. That this data is used for ads or even for scamming or manipulation. And lastly, people post highlights, not realities. And this creates unrealistic expectation and insecurities. At this moment, let me present to you the 8 categories of social media. So there are 8 major types of social media. Understanding them helps you choose the right platform for purpose. First, messaging platforms. No? Example, Messenger and WhatsApp. Second, online communities such as Facebook, Reddit, um, Twitter. Professional networking such as LinkedIn. Of course, communication or calling services such as Skype, Google Meet, or Viber. Content sharing such as YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, yan. Social media aggregators such as apps that combine feeds, live streaming platforms. You have Twitch, Facebook Live, YouTube, Discord, and also knowledge sharing such as Quora, Reddit Ask, or other information that can be shared. So knowing the purpose of each, it helps you avoid misuse. Now let's proceed to digital divide. Now, what is this digital divide? It is the gap between people who have access of technology and those who don't. And the gap exists, no? Especially between rich and poor, rural and urban, educated and non-educated, and even developed and developing countries. So access divide means not everyone can afford gadgets or internet. The limits of educational and career opportunities. Meanwhile, use divide, even with access, skill levels differ. Not everyone knows how to use technology properly. Next is the quality of use divide, the gap. This means that some use the internet only for entertainment. Others use it for research, learning, and productivity, and that creates different outcomes. Now, let's discuss the impacts of digital divide. In terms of education, students without digital access fall behind academically. Economy, workers without digital skills struggle to find jobs, and even businesses lose opportunities. In terms of socialization, people feel isolated if they cannot connect digitally. In terms of society, inequalities widen. Communities without access cannot share their culture online and decreasing representations. Now, what are the solutions? No? Solutions to bridge the digital divide. First, make technology affordable, such as lower device prices, cheaper data plans, and community Wi Fi centers. That's why improving affordability of digital resources. Second, digital skills acquisition and empowerment, such as conducting workshops for students, teachers, parents, and communities. Third, promoting digital literacy awareness, in which we need to teach people how technology improves lives. And another, inclusion of local languages in education content creation. No? Make online content accessible to all languages. And for the support with disabilities, improving for learners with disabilities, specially designed assistive and adaptive technologies significantly enhances the quality education for learners with disabilities. So support learners with disabilities, this is an assistive technologies help everyone learn equally. Now, as we end this lesson, I want you to reflect. Technology is powerful but neutral. It is neither good nor bad, and what matters is how we use it. Technology can educate you, connect you, empower you, and give you opportunities. But it can also mislead you, distract you, compare you, and control you. So the digital world is full of promise, but also full of pitfalls. And you must decide whether to be passive or an empowered digital citizen. Because the information age, success is no longer about who has the most resources, but it is about who has the most wisdom in navigating those resources. And I believe that each one of you, with the right mindset, awareness, and skills, has the power to thrive in this ever challenging digital landscape. So remember, you are not just users of technology. You are navigators of digital age. And your future depends on how well you steer your digital literacy. And that concludes our discussion this day. Thank you so much for listening.